Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I really want to get to 1,000 followers because YouTube doesn't really support your channel and your channel doesn't really get into the whole algorithm thing and grow until you really get to 1,000 followers. So please do help me show some support. I'm also on buymeacoffee.com. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram. So guys, please do show me support and follow me. Thank you so much for joining. If you are returning, seriously, I'm so thankful for your support. So guys, I wanted to do this article on, you guys may know about this already, but there is a politician. Well, I don't know if he's a politician anymore. I mean, he does some presenting on GB News. He is called Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage is very controversial. He, I would say, is conservative, kind of right-leaning politically. He's very nationalist, and he was a part of the kind of Brexit party. He wanted independence from Britain, independence for Britain from the UK, from the EU, and yeah, so he's very controversial. You either like him or you don't, right? And if you don't, you really don't. So this guy, so here he is receiving a TV award recently, which was also controversial. But good for him, well done. He has recently had his bank close his account. So his bank literally was like, we're closing your account. You've got X amount of days to take your money out. We don't want you, kind of thing, right? So he's spoken out about this and said, well, look, I've got a bank account with this bank called Coots, which is like a really kind of prestigious bank. They're millionaires. I think the members of the royal family, that type of caliber of people bank with this bank called Coots. And so he banks with this bank called Coots. And he says, I've banked with them for God knows over 10 years or something. And he says that they have told him they're going to close your account, or they've closed your account. They give you a certain amount of time to take your money out, and that's really it. So there's now all of this controversy going on about why the bank was closed. Is it because of his political views? Are banks allowed to do that? Are we moving to a cashless society? If we are moving to a cashless society, is it really dangerous that a bank can just say, hey, we're now going to close your account. We're not going to give you a reason, but you need to now go, kind of thing. So how does that tie into us moving to a cashless society? And is this getting political when it shouldn't be? And there are other debates like, is banking a human right? Should banks be allowed to literally just cut you off? And so forth, and how vulnerable that leaves people. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've now heard this happening to other people. So, for example, and this is what this article from The Express is about, this has happened to a vicar. So a vicar, for those of you who don't know, is a religious person, a religious leader in the Anglican Church of England, or an Anglican Protestant church. So, I want to say priest, but it's not really a priest. He's a vicar, okay? So it's kind of like a priest, but he's not a priest, okay? So his account was also closed because he expressed some views about transgender ideology. So I wanted to talk about this now because it seems that this is happening to more than one person. And, is this right? Is this wrong? Tell me what you think. So a major UK bank closes Vicar's account after Nigel Farage's scary warning to his viewers. Last week, the former Brexit party leader, who's Nigel Farage, suggested high street banks had denied him accounts because of his politics, and that those with traditional or conservative views would face the same treatment. Now, I should put a caveat in this, which is this article in the BBC, which is that the bank, Coots, or people who are speaking on behalf of Coots, have said that actually Nigel Farage's bank account was closed because he didn't reach the wealth limit. So there is a wealth limit. And I believe, and it should say here, that Coutts requires its customers to borrow or invest at least 1 million with the bank or hold 3 million in savings. And so apparently he didn't meet that threshold, so they shut his account. But Nigel Farage has said to the BBC that he didn't dispute the fact that he didn't meet the threshold, so he accepts I didn't have enough in there, but he says that they didn't have that problem in the last 10 years. So he's obviously had that account for a while and there wasn't a problem. He was told that it was just a commercial decision and his bank account was shut. And he believes that his account being shut is for political reasons, because he says that since then he's been turned down by 9 other lenders. So going back to this article, an Anglican church leader has slammed Yorkshire Building Society, YBS, so this is another bank, after he pushed back against the company's alleged pushing of transgender ideology. The Reverend Richard Fothergill had held the Reverend Richard Fothergill had held an account there for 17 years before writing what he called a political rebuttal to their promotional output during Pride Month this June. 4 days later, he received a letter informing him his account would be closed within a fortnight. Wow, only 2 weeks. Okay. This comes less than a week after GB News host and arch Brexiteer Nigel Farage revealed that he found himself in a similar situation and warned of an alarming trend. On his nightly show on Thursday, he said, "It seems to be all one way. It seems to be against people who have traditionalist and conservative views. There is something totally outrageous going on here." And I should say, this is the Vicar, and I should say there doesn't seem to be any reporting of anyone sort of liberal or left-wing leaning that has come out with a similar experience. That I just haven't seen that. So this Reverend is 62. He looks amazing for 62. In Cumbria, was simply responding to a monthly email from YBS asking for his feedback. Oh no. So the bank asked for his feedback and he gave his feedback and then his account was closed. Wow, that is out of order. So in the note they sent back, the Building Society reportedly claimed their relationship had irrevocably broken down and that they had a zero tolerance approach to discrimination. Wow, okay. Is he being discriminatory? Okay. Because he's got views as a vicar, as a religious person. He's got views. Is he being discriminatory? I mean, what's the definition of discrimination? Speaking to the Times, he said, "I wasn't even aware that our relationship had a problem. They are a financial house. They are not there to do social engineering. I think they should concentrate on the efforts on managing money instead of promoting LGBT ideology. I know cancel culture exists and this is the first-hand experience of it, and I wouldn't want this bullying to happen to anyone else." Well said. Well said. That's actually true. I agree. These are my views. I agree that a bank is a financial house. It's there to hold your money. Banks make so much money from holding our money. Okay. Why are we getting political into this? Is money political? Why are we getting political into this? Are you saying that a murderer comes out of prison and isn't entitled to a bank account? That man can open a bank account, okay? Don't even tell me that. Don't even tell me you ain't going to give him a bank account. Okay, don't even start. Don't even tell me that you ain't going to give him a bank account. Nonsense. One of the things that prisoners are supported with when they come out of prison is opening a bank account. So you can give a bank account to prisoners, but you can't give a bank account to somebody who expresses a different view to you. What? Like, honestly, I think it's so dangerous that banks are now getting involved in politics. It's like, so what? I have to either be quiet or I have to express a certain view in order to have a bank account. What? That's really strange. And I mean, you asked for his feedback. Like, what? And, I don't think that banks should have the right to do this. I mean, should they? They're commercial businesses, I guess. But then are we getting into the territory of commercial businesses being able to determine who they service? So are we getting to the point where it's like, oh, I'm a baker, I'm Christian, therefore I don't want to do a wedding cake for a homosexual wedding? Or, oh, I reference that example only because that's happened in America and these cases have gone to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. Or, I'm I don't even know, an officiant and I'm religious and I don't agree with gay marriage, but I therefore don't want to officiate this marriage. I mean, are we getting into that territory, or are we getting into a territory where it's like, hang on a second, you're providing a service, I'm paying for the service, it's got nothing to do with my sexuality or my gender, so I really don't know what's going on here. So this is a bit strange for me. And it's also very scary if we are going to a cashless society. And I think it's right. It's like banks, they earn so much money by holding your money. And then yet for some reason, there's a push towards going to a cashless society, which is only going to benefit the banks. And then the banks are going to hold this power to say who can and cannot have a bank account. But then yet, if the society is cashless, then how are people going to survive? How are people going to function in a normal society if they go to shops or they have certain transactions and commercial transactions that don't accept cash? Then what are they going to do? Or if they need banks as a form of ID, in terms of address, in terms of like a bank account, in terms of a card, having a credit card or having a bank card as a form of ID, what are they going to do if they're not allowed that? This is a very scary power play, in my view. This is very, very scary. And I think there has been some reference to other places having a bank account is referred to as a human right. Like I think there was some reference to Germany. And I think it's right. I think that should be declared as a human right. What I think is that some banks are worried about their reputation and are worried about their views, right? The way that they're viewed. So if you have a very prestigious bank like Coutts, then they're probably worried about how they look. And so what we have now is a day and age where you have this very woke ideology and people are worried about brushing up against that. So some people do brush up against that and they get a lot of slack. They get a lot of cancel culture or a lot of criticism. But then you have people that just adopt it for the sake of adopting it because they're scared to go against it, because they're scared of the cancel culture, they're scared of their reputation being damaged. So they just adopt it anyway. And then, of course, you have ones who genuinely do believe in that ideology. But I feel like if it is declared that it's a human right that everyone must have access to a bank, then I feel like then banks don't need to worry about their reputation, because it's like, well, sorry, I've got a bank account with Putin. I don't agree with anything he says, but it's a human right and I'm not allowed to close his bank account. You know what I mean? Unless the government or something declares some sort of, I don't know, national interest or national safety, then okay. So yeah, it's a bit of a scary one and a bit of an odd one. But guys, what do you think? Let me know. Is this scary? Do you know of any other situations where this has happened? Do you know of any kind of liberal or left-wing people that this has happened to, or has this happened to you? Very, very scary, is it not? Is it not scary that it's like, well, in this day and age, people can't have their views because they're going to have fabrics of their life, like a bank account, being closed to them? It's really scary. So guys, what do you think? Let me know. Put a comment in the comment section and let me know. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and take care. Bye guys.